I want to share a story about the importance of seeing the big picture. See outside our little bubble, our little ego bubble we all have around us. I was traveling last week. I went to the airport by train. It's a climate controlled environment. It's very comfortable. It's pretty quiet. It's you don't have to steer. You don't have to do anything. You just have to board the train and sleep or read or whatever you want to do. So when you get to the airport and you get into this landscape of stores, of excess, you can buy whatever you want, and all the stores, they are screaming tax-free and low price and so on. Of course that's not the case, but there is you can, if you're hungry, you can go and take a coffee. And not only a coffee, you can choose a selection of your desired coffee, or you can choose Asian food, or pastries and cookies and different kinds of dishes. Everything is there by your feet, essentially. So maybe you think it's so uncomfortable on the airport. It takes so long time to just sit there and wait, and everything is pricey, and it's a lot of noise, and people annoy you and all this. So when you have complained a bit about that, you board your plane. Maybe it's a bit delayed, so you complain a bit about this delay. Now I won't reach my destination on time. That's really bad, you know. So you board the plane, and the plane takes off, and you sit there. You complain about the space for your feet. It's so narrow and it's so cramped and it's not comfortable. It's not like home, you know. So let's complain a bit about that. And then you know, on the plane you can just raise your hand. You will be served, even without asking. You will be served some snacks and maybe a coffee or water or juice or something. And if you happen to be more hungry, you can just open the menu and select the dish you want. If you want a restroom, you can just go back in the plane and use the restroom. So well, you get to your destination. The plane hit the ground. Maybe you say, that was a bumpy ride. It was a bit of turbulence here. That was not good, you know. So you jump into a taxi. When you find the taxi, of course you don't stand there waiting for you. You have to search for one. So you jump into the taxi. You don't have to drive. You don't have to think. You just have to say, well, go to this location. So you go to the location, your hotel. You're welcomed, of course, by a very pleasant staff there too. And they ask you what you want and who are you and how can we help you and all this, and you know. So maybe you arrive at your room, you see it's not cleaned here, it's not good, it's low standard, you know. There's not the kind of shampoo that I want here. The floors are not clean enough. There is no TV here. Well, that's bad, you know. You paid for this, so you expect this to be according to your standard. So the next morning, after sleeping in this hotel, a bit cold during the night. You know, the air conditioning was running. It was blowing around your bed, so you could not sleep. That was not so good. So you go down to the breakfast. There we have a excess of all kinds of food you can eat for the morning. But that's when I took my yogurt and I took my fruit and I sat down by a table there next to two guys, and I listened to them discussing. And they were just very annoyed by the fact that there was not enough ham on this buffet. So their ham, there was no ham for the sandwiches. And that was horrible. That was horrible. You know, they got to this location without paying anything, because their company paid their travel. They went there in this climate controlled environment, very comfortable. And still when they get there, they have to complain about not getting the ham they want. So hearing that, you know, I was starting to think. I was actually starting to get a bit embarrassed for humanity, for how the way we can dive into our own problems. And then you open the news on your phone and you read about the war, you read about earthquake, and you know that just at that moment, hundreds of people are trapped still under collapsed buildings, and 40,000 people are dead. And still, it is possible to complain about not getting your ham. So, how did we get there? I guess the two guys, these two people, they had no bad intentions by discussing this. I mean, they don't wanted anything bad, and they did not mean anything bad. So we cannot judge them by that. But they, for sure, they are making a mistake in their way of thinking. They do not see the big picture. They just see their own situation. They look at their own ego, and they cannot detach from their little bubble. They cannot make a hole in their bubble and see how fortunate, how lucky, and how well off they are. And that is something that I think we should care more about, you know. If you have food on the table, if you have a roof over your head, if you have heating in where you live, if you have some kind of social context to live in, you don't have to complain. You don't have to complain at all, you know. Drop the complaint. Drop the complaint. That's what I'll do. So let's try that. Yes, wish you all a great day, and I'll see you next time.